Welcome all to the February edition of the Wisconsin chapter NRHS online slideshow. Glad you've taken time out of your evenings here. Sorry, I'm not going to answer the phone now. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Glad you're taking time out of your evenings to see the five presenters that we have lined up for you tonight. They're all good programs, all of them. I can tell you that. You're going to be glad you're spending this little time with us tonight. First up will be Jerry Pyfer. He's my counterpart. He's the president of the Northwestern Illinois chapter of the National Railway Historical Society. He'll be doing presenting a program called Illinois Central Gulf, Tales of the Freeport District. Then Jeff Wojciechowski is going to be doing Working Out West, a short little video that we're going to attempt to play and hope that comes across Zoom through some techniques that Jeff has been playing with. Eric Lindgren will share some wonderful Colorado Front Range winter photos. Dan Grudzelanek is going to give us a sort of a retrospective of the SD40-2, which has been around now for 50 years. And we're going to wrap up with Eric Shikati, Concrete Cowboy, his program of October on the High Plains. So I hope you stick around for all of these. And let me ask you, Jerry, are you about ready to go?
Yeah, all I got to do is pull it up and we'll highball.
Yeah, pull it up. And then let me just say a word in introduction about Jerry Pyfer. As I mentioned, he's the president of the Northwestern Illinois chapter of the NRHS out of Rockford, Illinois. He was bitten by the railfan bug at the age of 2, and I'm sure he remembers that vividly at this late date. Jerry hired onto the Milwaukee Road as a trainman in September of 1971, and he jumped to the Illinois Central Gulf in November 1978. And then he was furloughed a few years later. He ended his railroad career on the ICG October 1982. But he was a productive member of society after that. He was a mailman, and he retired after 30 years as a mailman, delivering the mail in the areas around there. And he lives with his wife, Cindy, wife of 35 years. They have 3 grown sons and 3 grandkids. Jerry is proud to say that he's a child of God, and he's with us tonight to give us a really neat program on his view of the Illinois Central Gulf back in the day. So with that, I am going to just mute everybody in the room, Jerry, you're going to have to unmute yourself to be able to do this. And will everybody please give your attention and a round of silent applause to Jerry Pyfer, everybody.
I already mentioned I jumped off the Milwaukee Road ship when it was sinking. And the LAD line was not going to support everybody. So I went to pay a visit to Illinois Central Gulf in Freeport, Illinois, and they were hiring. My seniority district would cover from Madison, Wisconsin down to Freeport, Freeport into Chicago, and down to Homewood, Markham Yard, and from Freeport south down to Clinton, Illinois. The Amboy district went south from Freeport to Clinton. That was part of the Gruber that went south through LaSalle, Illinois, across the Illinois River. And there were 4 locals that worked the line between Freeport and Clinton, Illinois. But tonight we're going to look at the Freeport district. It was ABS timetable train order territory from Freeport into Broadview, where it went to 2 main tracks into Chicago and then south to Homewood. About a month into my employment with the Illinois Central Gulf, an Illinois Central train was rolling through the Galena River Bridge in Galena, Illinois, like the one you see here, and they put them through the bridge. So with the bridge out and the crews in there trying to repair the damages, the Illinois Central Gulf trains had to detour over the Burlington Northern. The through trains would get on to the Burlington Northern at Galena Junction, roll south to Savannah, and then take a left-hand turn going east through Rochelle into past Cicero, and we got off the BN at Union Junction. At the time, we had Amtrak 370, 371, which went to Dubuque. With the bridge out, they would turn the train at Freeport and bus the passengers on to Dubuque, or bring them from Dubuque to Freeport in the morning for the eastward trip. Oddly as it seemed, the only trip I caught on the head end was the first trip, the first detour train east. Rudy Bilgree was the engineer, and the pilot, the BN pilot, got off at Cicero, saying that you'll be fine, just watch the signals, and when you get to Union Avenue, they'll have you lined up to go home. Well, we got to Union Avenue and we started making a right-hand turn, and we started looking at 21st Street Bridge, and we said, that's not where we're going. We're supposed to go. So we called the operator, told him the situation. He cleared us to make up a backward move, and then he lined us up so we would go straight on east and up and over the St. Charles airline. Here we're having a meet. I'm riding the caboose. We're on a number 80. That's number 79 in the siding at Chena. They even cut the crossing there for the local folks. Managed to get out one day to catch a detour coming into Rochelle. The Milwaukee Rochelle Patrol was tied up there as the grain train would pass the BN depot in Rochelle. We would get into the BN triple track. We'd be heading east here. I'm riding the caboose with two other BN freights sharing the right away as well. Got to be kind of busy sometimes. Thought it'd be kind of cool to catch a commuter train rolling by our train. We're stopped, by the way, and we weren't going to be going anywhere. So the conductor is watching out for me as the scoot rolls on by. Unfortunately, the angle would not let me get an E unit passing us. So it was up and over the St. Charles airline and back onto the ICG tracks. I would catch the last detour on December 23rd, rolling down the hill at Burke, heading for Savannah, meeting an eastbound BN train with an F-45 on the point. The derailment occurred December 17th and had a new bridge in by December 23rd. I guess when you want to get something done, you can. October 5th, 1980 was quite a busy time for the Freeport district. Here we have a clearance identifying us as First 75. First 75 is a second-class westbound train. Eastward trains of the same class are superior to us, as well as Amtrak's 372, which is a first-class train. So we would get train orders out of Hawthorne. We got an orders on number 372 that he would have to wait at Burlington till 11:01 and Munger until 11:20 for first 75, which is us. So that let us advance against Amtrak as far as we could before we had to duck into the siding. The juicy order in this was number 5, we're engine 8079, us, display signals and run as first 75. Broadview to Wallace has rights over first 72. Engine 8051, Broadview to Calvin Park, second 72. Broadview to Buckby, third 72. Broadview to Seward, and number 76, Broadview to East Junction. Needless to say, this is a pretty busy day on the Iowa division. And as you can note, if we're a first 72, there's a second 75 behind us. 80 would be our only other Superior train, which is annulled, so we didn't have to worry about him. A train order, this is basically they're doing grade crossing work around Gary Road, so this is just basically a flagging order for when they were on the job. And then 2 bundles of slow orders across the Freeport district. So here we are, we're into the siding at Burlington for our meet with number 372, which had one of the GEs on the point this day. This would be a normal consist of the Black Hawk back in the early 80s. Here we are in the siding again at Calvin Park, meeting first 72. We're in the siding at Buckby, which is in Rockford, meeting second 72. We got to hold the main at Seward. We got train orders out of Rockford setting up this particular meet. So he had to take the siding for us there. We got into Freeport. I was able to photograph 76 on his way, but he didn't have time to chase him back to Rockford, even though that's where he lived, because I had to get home because by 11:59 p.m. I'd be on the switch engine. In October of 80 there, I worked 32 starts in 31 days. So rather busy. So that's it. I thank you for your watching, and I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Excellent presentation. That is some really neat stuff there, and I see there's a bunch of hands that are applauding for you. Everybody else, give Jerry a round of applause, please.
Thank you. Sometime we got more time, we'll do a little more.
I will look forward to that.
All righty.
That's awesome. Anybody have any questions for Jerry before we get on to our next presentation? Not hearing any. I think okay, so I just have to make an explanation here to everybody who's on the call. First of all, thanks to those who registered in advance. That really helped us out a lot, that you were able to register in advance. For the folks who registered here at the last minute, we're still trying to get them into the room. We got about,
hey,
yes?
Yes, Mark Jones. I just wanted to say hi to Jerry. I'm on my layover running the commuter trains out here in California. Just really enjoyed the show.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Have a good one there, Jerry. I got to get back to work, guys. But thank you so much for inviting me to join the show.
Have a safe trip.
Okay, you bet. See you guys.
Awesome, awesome, Mark. Yeah, so there's a pile of other folks that are still trying to get in here. So we're going to take like a 2-minute break here as I try to wade through some of this stuff, and then we'll continue with our next presenter, who will be Jeff Wojciechowski. Jeff, if you want to get ready in the meantime, we'll put you on in like one and a half minutes.
Okay.